Hello and welcome back. It is Saturday and I just need to have a tidy day and a bit of a sort out, which is very my style. I have my clippers because we are off to Royal Lancashre next weekend, and she needs to have all of her trimming done. She's also got a mud fever flare up because, you know, it's July and it's muddy. I also didn't muck out. She's in all day yesterday and I haven't mucked out, so she's actually having her breakfast in a dirty stable, which gives me a massive ick, but had a lie in this morning and didn't want to make her wait for her breakfast any longer. And then we'll let her adjust. That hay bale is supposed to be stood up, so it fell down and underneath it are some of my rugs and my hay bags and things. So Brad is here. I'm going to get him to stand it up. But anyway, I'm going to have a really quick just tidy and sort out. Then Dublin's going for like a canter hack, so I'm going to be doing like quite a fast one. And bathing her and clipping her today so that she's kind of ready for next week. And then I need to make a list of what I need to go and buy for next week. I do know, like, I haven't got hair gel and things like that. So yeah, very me style. Just going to have, I think people call it a Sunday reset, but we're just going to go with it. It's Saturday. We're going to have a Saturday reset and just get back on track.
You're minging. Almost as minging as that bed, and look at your mud. Nice.
I'm going to leave that to get some air whilst I bath. Hello, I am back. I disappeared for a bit because she was wet and it started to rain, so I went off to my mother-in-law's for a cup of tea and I've come back and she's still a little bit damp, but that is fine. I've popped to B&M and I have grabbed the gel I need and a hairbrush because the one from my hat bag has gone missing. But I'll show you Dubs. She's
in her stubble, in a fleece. She was still a bit wet. You're still a bit wet, aren't you? But I think we can. Your neck is dry, so I can hug you and I can take your moustache off. But your leggies are a bit damp still, so I need to let them dry before I clip them.
So I do my clipping 7 to 10 days before the show. So doing it Saturday, my class is next Sunday, so it's 8 days before. Just because then it's like settled and it's not as obvious and it looks pulled, even though I refuse to like pull tails and manes. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is her tail And then I'd clip the bottoms of her legs and like blend it in on all of them, and hog her.
Can we just though take a moment? Huh? 24 years young. Hey? Looking good, baby girl? Oh, tired. Well, I hate to break it to you, but we're going off for a hack.
Whew, well, I just joked on my Instagram that ride was a little bit like she was auditioning for a ballet role in The Nutcracker or something daft. She is a bit of a Fruit Loop to hack out on her own. She sort of always has been. But I kind of need to get like a drone or something to follow us. You can't really ever catch it on the GoPro. I did try and film it with my phone stuffed in my joppers. But yeah, she always looks very still in front. But actually underneath, she's like coming up really high. She's pulling like mad. Like she's just an absolute Fruit Loop. And then we were just jig jogging and sideways jig jogging, and it was just like on our toes. My abs are killing, my butt cheeks are killing, just absolutely exhausted. I managed to get 3 minutes of canter in, which is rare for our hacking, believe it or not, because it's all quite stony. But with it having rained, the grass tracks that we do have, I have managed to canter all of them. But I probably could have gone around the field twice or 3 times. But anyway, it's 5 o'clock now, I need to get home. So yeah, one day I will we'll vlog some of our hacking. I need a GoPro. I have got one, I just need to wear it, I never do it at home. But yeah, she's definitely feeling well. Oh wait, that's her looking for food. Get off, because that's Jim's. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to turn her out now and going to stretch out. Hello, this is all very last minute, but that is because I didn't think I would be able to include this in this vlog. I have come for a Katie Carter clinic. She's a showing rider judge, and the reason I can have lessons with her is because it's in clinic form with a riding club. So I have to remain an amateur to be able to compete like in veterans and stuff, which means you can't have lessons with professionals, like private lessons, but you can have clinics. So I can only do them on the days that I can actually make the date. I don't get to pick the date. Anyway, I don't normally vlog them because I normally come on my own. However, Brad has announced that he is going to come and he's going to bring his like big camera to play around with it. So therefore, I will have some footage, which means I can actually share one of these lessons. Now, it will have to be a voiceover because Katie does say that she hates her voice in any videos. So I will have to do a voiceover, but I need to be on in 15 minutes and I need to tuck up. So hello and welcome to Voice Over Me. So as I explained, Katie Carter is a showing producer, rider, judge, the full 9 yards, and she very much does her lessons in a show format. So you come into the arena, you go around and you do a go round, and as you are doing your go round, she is basically shouting out what she would like to see from your horse, what she likes from your horse, what as a judge she expects from your horse, but the whole thing is done in a go-round setting, so it's really helpful in that instance. So we were coming in and it was just all about getting that impressive walk. Now, the main problem I have that she says is my contact is inconsistent. So Dublin very much likes to get long and like low. She likes to sort of lengthen out, and then that means that she drops. Now you'll notice my boots, they kept slipping down. I don't know what's wrong with them. I think they're just old, but this happens a lot, and I actually felt like I rode really badly, to be honest, but we'll get into that in a minute. But yes, she was saying about my contact needs to be consistent because Dublin just likes to lean forward and kind of bore down, and when she's in a higher frame and she actually has got me to hold her there, she goes much better. She's much lighter in front, she's a bit more toe flicky, and it's just all just much a nicer frame, nicer picture. So there was 4 of us in this group. This is the way that like a go around would be. We've stayed in trot obviously longer than you would at a show, but just lots of going around the outside and trotting across diagonal basically, because that's what you would do in a class. And she's very much standing where a judge stands. And yeah, it's just getting this bigger trot out of Dublin, but keeping the front end because I'm really good at just letting it all go out the front. Now, Dublin was actually feeling rather full of herself. I've done quite well at getting her quite fit. So we did do some canter, but I don't actually have a lot of footage of that. But what I was going to say was I was really, really pleased because Katie said that actually it's the best she's had her looking. Katie knows her quite well now, so she said that her weight looks really good and she's looking really good. And then we just chatted about what I struggle with, and I said that because the veterans are normally always a set show, Dublin anticipates. So we had a little chat about what she was giving me advice what to do, and I went out and did, well, not a full set like show, but we just broke down the parts. So I said that the anticipation is always his corner, and there it is, look. And basically she said, believe it or not, it's my inconsistent contact. So when I'm asking for this bigger trot, because Dublin will quite happily just amble along and she needs to do this sort of bigger, more powerful trot, because my contact in the front is not consistent, when I'm pushing for this bigger trot, she's anticipating. So another thing she said to do was come back to walk, go back into trot, so that she's not anticipating a canter all the time. We stayed in trot, and I think we came round and did the diagonal again. So basically she says, what you don't realise you're doing is your reins will lengthen only by an inch, and then before I realise it, they've lengthened another inch, which means I only then shorten them an inch, and then over time my reins are just getting too long and there's not enough consistency on her like mouth basically, so she just pushes everything with Dublin, just shoots out the front. So this is where my breaks are happening. So come across the diagonal again, and then we were going to pick up canter in this corner. Now, I don't know if it's because my boots were falling down and it kind of hurt a little bit or what, but like I said, I do feel like I rode really badly. I've kept it in because this is what happens when you don't go for lessons. But here you can see my reins, they're too long. She does a little bit pokey nose, so tried to sort of shorten them, and then obviously when you're trying to do it like discreetly, you'll see a bit later on I just get a little bit like her head just moves so much, and it's my fault. It's almost a bit like I'm yanking her sideways, which I'm not proud of, but you know, it is what it is. So we only canted that little short stride there, so it was missed, but come across the diagonal, which is how we would do it, keeping that consistency, setting her up properly for the next one, because what happens is I just tend to let her anticipate it, and that's when I go into canter, which is terribly awful. Coming round, and then because I'm really, really aware of trying to keep her consistent, I'm fiddling far too much in the rein and into her mouth, and the poor girl is probably having the bit run across all of her teeth. I don't know, but it looked really messy, and it almost needed to happen so that I was aware it was happening. So we come across the diagonal again. Now the trot work I'm really pleased with, but look, what like as I'm fiddling, her head wobbles, and I mean that's only going to make her look lame as well. It's really, really bad there because my inside hand, I'm trying to feed the rein up, and oh god, it's a mess. I've kept it in because it is what it is. She then got really strong down here, and I realised that I'm trying to sit too discreetly because obviously it's showing and I'm not riding. So for my second go, I actually have knots in my reins. So I'm holding them in my hand, you can't see them, but there's knots there for me to hold to keep that consistent contact. My reins aren't slipping through my hands. Because this is not dressage, I can do this, and it just means that I'm holding her together in a nice frame. I'm able to push her forward to get the nice bigger strides. She's not anticipating the canter because I'm not giving it all away in the front. Now I'm still a little bit handsy. There's a little bit here that I'm just not, it's not my favourite thing to watch, but
I think now that I'm aware of it and now I've got the knots in my reins, I'm not worrying about contact. I will be able to keep my hands a lot stiller. But like I said, I just felt so rusty today. It's not my best riding, but that's what lessons are for. So we did the set sort of veteran show, just to finish really, because they were getting a bit tired, and it's sort of what I'll be doing at Royal Lancashire. And actually I was really pleased with it. Not my favourite, but not the worst. And I did get a really nice square halt. I've got her a normal bucket of water, and then I've just put one little handful of that, no! Oh, tubs!
What I was saying was, I had just put one little handful of the Premier Performance hydration mash in there. She doesn't really need the hydration mash, but I do want her to drink some water, because don't knock it out. No, it did get very hot in our lesson, and although she's not sweaty, I just like her to have some water. So, one idiot. Anyway, I believe I would have done my voiceover. But yeah, I'm so glad we managed to get to a lesson. We've missed far too many, and it really showed. I felt so rusty at the beginning. So it's just a little tune-up that I needed, and I've got my knots in my reins going forward, which does feel very childish, but I tell you what, it works. It works. What I love about Katie is that she just puts everything so simple. You know, and if I'm fiddling too much, try and soften and try and do what it is I'm trying to do, and all I'm doing is creating head wobble and inconsistency, then I need to stop doing that. And yeah, we'll try the knots out. But yeah, I've got me a drink because I'm absolutely dying of thirst. And it's only a 20-minute drive home, but I'm going to let her play with her food and chill out, and then we will go back to the yard. We are home. I've just popped her, look at that sun. I've popped her into her stable for possibly a little wee before she goes back out in the field, and she gets to go out naked tonight. It's like 19 degrees until I think 11 p.m, and then it's only dropping down to 10, and it's going to be like dry all night, so I'm going to let her have some naked time. I hate that she's been in rugs so much this summer, and rain sheets at that. But yes, I will finish this vlog here because I'm not going to do anything now until tomorrow after work, and of course that's Wednesday, which means the vlog will have to go out. And all I'm going to be doing is basically kind of getting this a little like bit packed and just sort of sorted out, because I won't lie, I'm freaking out a little bit. Like, this is the first day where I've had a job that's like 9 till 5. When I had the dogs and the dog grooming, I would have like naturally have kept my Friday afternoon free to do everything, but I don't. I have to do it all after work, as well as riding her, which, oh my god, shock horror, full-time job. Jesus. This is no way me moaning, it's just the fact that it's something I've got to get used to, because I used to work full-time, but work for myself, so I could adjust my hours. I can take like the half an hour here and there, like I took half an hour this afternoon, and I can just make it up later on. But I don't really want to take a whole entire Friday afternoon off, so I'm just going to have to do little bits every night now, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. I want to take it down the farm and jet wash it. I want to jet wash, I'll like hose out my wheelbarrow and take that rather than a trolley, because my trolley's broken and I haven't bought a new one. So yeah, rambling yet again, shock horror. She hasn't pooed, love that. I absolutely love when we go out and she doesn't poo. So yeah, this is all fine. This is all fine and dandy. And yeah, I'm very pleased with her. You're not having a wee, are you? So you might as well go straight out into the field. Can't get over that sun, it's poured all day today. And I really thought we were going to get soaked in that lesson, but no. Right, you ready to go out? Yeah, because she's looking for food, which is not in there. So yeah, anyway, I will say goodbye, and we will catch you next week, which will be Royal Lancashire. Bye.